Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us for our next live stream. I'll be your producer for this session. Before we start, I do have some quick housekeeping. Please take a moment to read our code of conduct. We seek to provide a respectful environment for both our audience and presenters. While we absolutely encourage engagement in the chat, we ask that you please be mindful of your commentary, remain professional, and on topic. Keep an eye on that chat. We'll be dropping helpful links and checking for questions for our presenters to answer live. Our session is being recorded. It will be available to view on demand right here on the Reactor channel. With that, I'd love to turn it over to our speakers for today. Thank you for joining.
No.
All right, we are live.
Hey.
Well, thank you for joining us, everybody. We are just going through a little technical issues, but if you would like to introduce yourselves while we bring the PowerPoint up, that would be awesome.
Yeah, so I'm Nadav, a senior PM here on the OneLake Catalog team. Nama?
Hi everyone, I'm Naama. I'm from Fabric Platform product team. Excited to be here today.
Yeah. So let me share the deck. I hope this comes through. Awesome. Here we go. So I'll kick this right off. So we came here to talk about the OneLake Catalog. And the OneLake Catalog is Fabric's kind of center nerve core, where you can find all of your data assets in one place, where you can discover them, govern them, and secure them all in one place. And it's important to know that everyone that has access to either Power BI or Fabric has access to the OneLake Catalog. This is out of the box and automatically enabled, does not incur any additional costs. This is basically part and parcel of Fabric. And this is where you'd both, and as we'll see today, you'll both see things from the bird's eye view and govern your data estate from the administrative persona, but also from the ground up, being able to find every individual table, column, and any other item type within Fabric, whether data or elsewhere, all in one place. And it's important to know that it doesn't work only via the UI. We'll also talk about today about APIs, programmatic access, both for you and for your AI agents, and even via other third-party catalogs that you might be using. So the OneLake Catalog is really open and accessible through anywhere you guys work. Also, even if you don't work via any data central platform, if you're a business user working on PowerPoint, Excel, Word, you could be getting access to your data through the OneLake Catalog seamlessly in Teams and elsewhere. Basically, over 100 plus apps, and Foundry is another good example that I recently introduced, where you can find access into your data assets. And this is amazing, making data that was previously super hard. You had to do multiple steps in order to find. Now this data is at your fingertips, feels just like an Excel spreadsheet. So in this course of the deck, we're going to basically divide it roughly in two. The first part is going to be about the Explore tab, kind of the bottom-up approach. And Naama here will kick off at the bird's eye view, at the top-down of the govern experience. And so first of all, about the OneLake Catalog Explore tab, which is the first tab that appears when you open the OneLake Catalog. Here you can find all of your data items and other types of items, insights, reports, dashboards, process items, and so on. Anything that exists in your data estate appears in the OneLake Catalog Explore tab. Whether you'd like to access it through the workspaces or that you know and manage, but even if you don't know and you just know that the type of the artifact or even just its name, everything here appears in one easy navigation, easy to navigate place. And you could personalize it. You could add additional filters to slim down just to what you care about, whether you know that the item is endorsed or your favorite, and so on. And also, once you do find an item, you could get trust signals about it. So whether, for example, you would like to see its lineage and see what items are going to be impacted if you change it or delete it, or if you want to see for this semantic model, for example, when was the last time it was refreshed, or if the refresh has failed and why. And all of this appears in this one central view. You don't have to hop around and jump between the different experiences. Everything appears in this one centralized place. And as I said before, both this is still accessible whether in the UI or via API, and we're going to have a dedicated demo just about this in a second. Now, it's important to know that, with AI readiness and Copilot, there's a lot you can do in the catalog to curate your data just for that. Whether you want to endorse or certify certain data that you want your agents to know that is particularly trustworthy, or attach tags to both items. And now recently, we've also added support for workspace tags to make discoverability of items for both you or your agents much easier. You could tag things by customer or project or any other tagging scheme you might be using. You could also use it now in Fabric, and you could use it for entire workspaces at once. And just recently, we've also introduced automatically generating descriptions and summaries for semantic models to make them much easier to discover and understand for other users. And coming up soon are also tables and column support right within the UI, so you don't have to open a specific data item to see what's inside. You'd also be able to find it and govern it and just from the Catalog Explorer UI itself. It'd be easy opening an item, seeing its schemas, its columns, its description, data preview, have all of this appear also in search. So you could just search for a table's title, and that's been something that I know I've been asked for a long time. All of this could appear both via the catalog's UI, APIs, skills, MCP, CLI, any other integration that you might be working with. It's right there, and you can find it all the way down to the column level, which is awesome for data discoverability and usability. And just
making sure.
So let's see a quick demo just to see what I'm talking about.
Making sure the right data can be found, understood, and trusted before anyone touches it. If you're a data engineer, you know exactly what I'm talking
about. Sorry. Is the audio coming through? I hope so.
So I start in the OneLake Catalog, the single place where I discover and govern my entire data estate. And look at what we're seeing here. This spans everything my organization works with. Lakehouses, mirror data from Azure and Snowflake, warehouses, SQL databases, semantic models, pipelines, even organizational apps, all in one place. No more swivel chairing between portals. No more, where did that data set go? This is it. Now, discovery starts with business intent. And I love that phrase because it's so true. I'm not searching randomly. I'm going to the sales domain, scoping down to the EMEA subdomain, and look at that. I see the domain branding, the description. I instantly know I'm in the right business context. From here, I can filter by endorsements, tags, and workspaces. I'm zeroing in on only the trusted, relevant data. No noise, just signal. Let me show you what any item looks like up close. And it's gorgeous, by the way. Key metadata is right there, front and center. Descriptions, tags, owners, endorsements, sensitivity labels. Remember that default sensitivity label that the admin set up earlier? That's flowing through right here, automatically applied. The admin did their job, and now I benefit from it. And oh, if a description is missing, one click, Copilot generates it for me. So analysts can understand exactly what they're looking at without sending me a message on Teams asking, hey, what's in that table? We've all gotten that message, right? No more. Now let's ground this in something real. It's the end of the year, the sales team is finalizing revenue numbers, and I'm the data engineer who needs to make sure the customer data is ready for consumption before year close deadline. Pressure's on, let's go. I search for orders and immediately narrow the list to sales own order data. Easy. Now I see more than one item called orders. And if you've worked in a real data estate, you know this happens all the time. So which one is the real one? I open the details pane and look at this. I can see it's connected to the production deployment pipeline. That tells me this isn't some test copy someone forgot to delete. This is the real asset, flowing to production. I can see the full metadata and the data schema, all the way down to the column level. No guesswork. And then I open the lineage view, and this is where it all comes together. I can see the sensitivity label is inherited from the source, protection flows downstream automatically, through the lakehouse, through the semantic models, all the way into the reports. I'm not guessing at the downstream impact. I can see it clearly. That gives me confidence to make changes because I know exactly what's affected. As a data engineer, I review everything, set up proper descriptions, and I can certify this asset. Now it's discoverable. Now the sales team can rely on it with confidence. And if you want to zoom out, the Govern tab is there for me as a data owner too. It shows me the completeness and compliance of everything I own, where descriptions are missing, where trust signals are weak, and what I should do next. It's like having a governance checklist that updates itself. One more thing before I hand this off. Before I promote this lakehouse to the end users, I always check security. Always. In the Secure tab, I can see exactly who has access, which roles, which users, which groups, all the way down to specific tables and columns. For the year-end close, sales needs broad access to order data. They can see everything, except for one column that contains customer social security numbers. I deliberately excluded that using column-level security via OneLake security. Think about that. Broad access for productivity, granular protection for compliance. You get both. That's the sweet spot. So where are we? The data is ready. It's discoverable, governed, and trusted. Now it can be used by data scientists, analysts, business users, and by Copilot and AI agents that need trusted data to generate reliable answers. That's foundation, and it's solid. Okay, last set of demos. And honestly, this might be the one that gets the making sure the right data can be found.
Sorry. So, whoop.
Making sure.
Sorry. So just kind of a recap of what we've seen, right? You could see both in the same place, all of the metadata about the item. You could easily drill down into the specific columns, the specific descriptions, render new ones. I want to just jump really quick to show this. Sorry. Here we go. Both by domain. I see all the data items in the same place. I can quickly go and see other types of items as well. Can quickly find the most relevant information, all funneled to one location. And let me just go right next to here. And as I said before, this doesn't need to only reside within the UI. Now we've also integrated the OneLake Catalog in the Search API, the Fabric CLI, the Fabric Remote MCP, and local MCP servers. So you could both use it via any of the by Copilot, sorry, or any of your favorite AI agents. You could also use it programmatically, scripting, anything as close as your fingers tips to the terminal is possible. You don't have to be using the catalog UI for this necessarily. One more thing, we're also open to other third-party catalogs. If you're using any Informatica, Calibra, Elysian, you could easily funnel the metadata through from the OneLake catalog into those third-party catalogs as well, and seeing all of your metadata funnel all the way there as well. So you could be curating your metadata in Fabric in the OneLake catalog, but seeing it elsewhere as well via the scanner APIs. And from here, we can talk about the MCP integration I've been mentioning before, just to show how easy it is to be getting your agents to use the OneLake catalog and to get additional information from the catalog and find things that you're looking for.
And it doesn't stop in the UI. The same catalog is accessible through public APIs and MCP. Watch this. I'm in Visual Studio Code using an LLM-powered app, and I just asked in natural language, what sales-related lakehouses does Zava have? And it comes back with the results from the same trusted catalog, same governance, same security. Whether it's a person searching in Excel or an AI agent querying through an API, the same governed truth is discoverable and usable everywhere.
So just as easy as asking a question in natural language, getting natural language questions and natural language responses, and all of this is already available, and you could use it today.
And it doesn't stop.
Naama, off to you.
Thank you, Nadav. Maybe before we move on to govern, there was a question or a statement about Copilot accuracy, about the description. First, we encourage you to test it and try. And just be aware that since we have that level of visibility to the columns and tables, even not to the content, but to the column and tables that contain the item contains, and to the related items and the metadata, then Copilot is doing a pretty good job understanding the context and providing that description. But happy to get that feedback over time once you try it. So looking at the governance, and Nadav showed the bottom up, how I manage my items, how I find them, how I trust them. So we would like to see the other side. If I'm an admin in the organization, or even if I'm a data owner responsible for some scope of data, how I govern it, where I find everything, how I monitor things. So yeah, let's move to the next slide. Okay. So why governance is important? Why we should monitor things? So as you expand, and we have a lot of organization using Fabric and expand the use of Fabric, and a lot of data flowing in Fabric, you need to have those pillars, governance pillars in place to ensure the data is secured, everything is regulated and compliant. You have the audit trails, you have the cost management, ensure everything is utilized properly and effectively, and no idle resources. You would like to have visibility on where the data goes, who has access to the data, and ensure nothing, no exfiltrations and no risks around that. And also some visibility of what is used in Fabric from my users, my organization, just to understand that everyone knows about all the features available for them. And if I'm an admin, I'd like them to use some features, but in the way that is proper and aligned to the company standards. So that visibility helps you to build those guidelines, trainings, and really ensure that everything is in place. Moving to the next slide. So Fabric is huge, right? It's a big platform, a lot of capabilities, a lot of personas that are using Fabric in the different scenarios. And we have a lot of tools for monitoring that address the different scenarios and different personas. If it's in the OneLake catalog that I'll show a demo in a minute about the govern and how you see all the data, you manage it, you fix problems in place. Everything is available through APIs, so not just for developers, but also for admins. The capacity tracking, capacity metrics available for tenanted capacity admins, and various more monitoring capabilities. Together with specific out-of-the-box reports for admins as part of the admin monitoring workspace, which we will touch in few slides specifically. So let's see the demo. Yeah, I don't have sound, so maybe because you are muted, Nadav. Okay, sorry. Technical issues.
Yeah, it looks like he dropped or is disconnected. I think he's probably coming back.
Okay. Okay, we cannot hear that. Let me try. Let's move to the next slide maybe, and then try to go back to the demo. Nadav, if you can hear me. Okay. So as part of the OneLake catalog, we have the Govern tab, which used to address data owners. We see everyone responsible for governance, not just admins. So we address data owners first. But I think a year ago, we addressed also tenant admin view, with the ability to see the entire data estate with a robust report that allows all the governance dimensions that you can think of. If it's around the domains, capacities, workspaces, which features are used where and by whom. The protection stage with the sensitivity label and DLP policies, and those of you that use the previous reports, it's the Purview Hub report with much more details and information. The discoverability stage together with the curation state, the sharing state of data, tags. There is a specific tab for tags, both on item and workspaces. And we also allow the enabled here robust filters and some item exploration if you just need to explore and dig deeper in the data. You can do that as well. And you can also use Copilot to help you understand the data, find gaps without working hard to find them. we provide recommended actions that are tailored to the state of the user. If it's for admins, around some settings recommendations, structuring the organization with domains, creating list of tags on tenant level and domain level. So enabling default sensitivity label policies around the tenant and the domain. So a lot of proactive actions that users can take to ensure the data is governed properly, structured, and can also track what is going on. And also from the data owner perspective, we provide that view of where my data, how healthy is my data, what is my curation state, if I'm missing descriptions, or if I can endorse some items, if I can add tags for better discoverability, protect it better with sensitivity labels, and so on. So really, this is the place for users to gain their insights, get the recommended actions. And since we want to help the users just to find everything in one place, we added some quick access links for tenant admins to all the tools they have in admin portal, so they can quickly access and manage their domains, capacities, and so on. And also for data owners, quick access to monitoring hub and some additional learning tools, just to be aware of what's available in Fabric. If we move to the next slide. So I mentioned the admin monitoring workspace. So we have several out-of-the-box reports. We previously had content sharing and feature usage and adoptions. They are still available, not for long. So all the data in those, and I mentioned the Purview Hub report, so all the data there was aggregated into the OneLake Catalog Govern report, with additional content, additional reporting. So we encourage you to open this report. You can open it directly from the workspace itself. You can build on top of the semantic model, connect additional data just to extend its, and tailor the views per what you need. So you can build your custom report on top of that. So just bear in mind, if you build some reports or custom reports on top of the other semantic models, we encourage you to move to this new one. So you will gain more information, more visibility. For data owners, each data owner has its own governed report in the My Workspace, so you can find it there and open it directly. I see we lost the presentation, so let me try and share from my screen. Just a second. Sorry for technical issues. Share screen, and I hope it shares also the audio. Okay, just let me know that you can see my screen. Yeah, we are good.
Yes.
Askia?
Yeah, we're good to go.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, we're good.
Okay.
Okay, everyone. Let's start with the admin experience. And I gotta tell you, this is one of my favorite things to show people. So picture this. You're a Microsoft Fabric admin. You've got hundreds, maybe thousands of items in your tenant. People are building lake houses, creating reports, connecting data from everywhere. And your job, make sure it's all secure, compliant, and actually usable. That's a tall order, right? Well, here's where it gets good. My day starts here in the OneLake Catalog on the Govern tab. And look at this. I land on this page and immediately I can see the health of my entire tenant. And I'm not digging through 5 different portals. I'm not hunting for settings. It's all right here. Insights, recommended actions, and quick access to every management tool I need. How cool is that? Now check this out. I've got 2 recommended actions waiting for me. The first one is telling me, hey, your sensitivity labels aren't applied broadly enough. That means there are items out there that might not have the protection your organization requires. The second one says you should improve data curation with tags. These aren't just alerts. These are actionable recommendations. Microsoft Fabric is literally coaching you on how to become a better admin. I love this. Before I jump on that sensitivity label recommendation, I want to understand the full picture. So I click View More. And now I'm looking at the governance report. And this is where it gets really interesting because I can see 3 key areas. First, my data estate, domains, capacities, feature usage. Second, security and compliance, sensitivity labels for Microsoft Purview, and data loss prevention policies, or DLP. Finally, trust and reuse, data freshness, how well things are curated, and what's being shared. This is the 360-degree view every admin has been asking for. Now here's where I'm going to blow your mind a little bit. I'm going to open up Copilot and just ask, which domains has the most unlabeled items? Boom. It tells me it's the sales domain, of course. I didn't have to run a report. I didn't have to export to Excel and do a pivot table. I just asked, are you kidding me? This is powerful. All right, so now I know the sales domain is where the gap is. I go back to my recommended action, review the steps, and here's what I love. Microsoft Fabric has built-in features to handle this. I don't need a third-party tool. I don't need a custom script. I activate the default sensitivity label policy at the domain level, and because I've delegated the settings, domain owners can fine-tune it for their own context. I pop into the sales domain settings, set the appropriate label, and just like that, every new item created in this domain is automatically protected. Let me say that again. Automatically protected. No user action required. That is huge. Now for my second recommendation, tags. I'd heard about tags before, but I hadn't set them up yet. So let's do it right now, live. I created a few tags for organization-wide use, plus some specific ones for sales. And now, every user in my organization can apply these tags to their items and workspaces. This makes everything more discoverable, more organized, and more trustworthy. So let's just step back for a second. What just happened? The OneLake Catalog gave me governance insights, told me exactly what to fix, showed me unused capabilities I wasn't taking advantage of, and gave me direct links to go fix everything. This is an admin's best friend. I'm not even exaggerating. Okay, everyone.
Okay, so I'm not going to repeat all of the slides that I showed, but you can see, and in the demo we showed the admin view. Similarly, there is the developer view, the data owner view that provide more insights around the items that I created and I own. So when we look at that, the data owner perspective, we get that it's sometimes not effective to get the recommendation and then go search and explore what items I need to fix and how. So an enhancement that is rolling out to production as we speak is to provide that list of items in place. When you open the recommended actions in Govern, you get not just what is the problem and how to fix it, but also the list of the items, the filtered list of items. The action was triggered because of them. So you can open each item, fix it if it's generating descriptions, refresh the items, add tags, and more. And as we progress, we evolve and improve that experience as well. We also enhancing the report, so all the time adding more and more information. Tags is just an example of something that was added recently, and we keep updating and hoping it helps and make your life easier. So in the demo, we saw domains and the power of having domains, structuring the data, so better to find it, discover it. But it's also powerful from governance perspective because you can control per domain, not just the sensitivity label, but some rules around export and sharing, and define certifiers per domain. So if you would like to certify items, you can have that defined differently for the different domain because each domain has its own expert. So that enables the data mesh patterns with specific tags that can be created per domain and attached to the items in the domain and the workspaces, of course. And we evolve and add more and more functionalities around domain as we progress. Sorry about all the notifications. So when Nadav spoke about lineage as part of the item details, so we are looking at lineage as part also from the governance perspective, because it's not just to see where the data came from and where it's going. It's also assessing the impact of a change. If I'm changing something, how it will impact downstream. And we are working to extend the lineage more and more to provide you both APIs and more granular details. I think we covered the slides for today, so we can open. I'm stop sharing right now, just to get your questions if you have, and maybe to some topics we haven't touched today in the deck.
So if there are any questions, feel free to post them out over in the chat. I'll be happy to answer them. And if not, then we can conclude for today. Okay. So thank you all for joining us today. If you do think about questions after this, you can always feel free to ping us, and we'd be happy to take them. Oh, I see there's some questions are coming right now.
Yeah.
So first question is about what all applications do you expect to see OneLake Catalog being surfaced in? Excel or Copilot, etc. That's a great question. I can answer this one. So as I said in the beginning, the OneLake Catalog is integrated in definitely in over 100 plus Microsoft surfaces, and you can find it in Excel and you can find it in Copilot, both on Fabric and elsewhere. You could also integrate it via APIs, MCP, CLI, programmatically into your own LLM agents. So it's easy to use the OneLake Catalog, whether you're using the UI, but also programmatically in natural language. We're very, very open, even as I said previously, in other catalogs. So the OneLake Catalog is really, wherever you work, we want to be there. The second question is about integrating with Fabric IQ. So definitely you could see Fabric IQ items, ontologies, for example, in the OneLake Catalog. They're surfaced there just like any other item that exists in Fabric. You could easily find the ontologies that you create in a cross workspace environment, just like any other item in Fabric. You could curate them, add descriptions, make them as a favorite, see the lineage of these ontologies and what these ontology items are connected to. All of that appears in the catalog, definitely. And if we're talking even broader in the IQ suite, then you could also find the OneLake Catalog in Foundry. So you could also find it in Foundry and use the OneLake Catalog, for example, to select ontologies when you're creating a knowledge source, or when you want to find the lakehouse and add it to your Foundry knowledge base. You could use the OneLake Catalog to find your favorite items and use them just in the familiar way from Fabric, also in Foundry. Thanks a lot. So definitely, if there's any other questions, be happy to take them.
Yeah, there are some links dropped in the chat, so just for additional materials.
Yeah. I see the last question here about find discovery based on metadata. So that's a great question. We are expanding, and right now you could definitely find just right now the OneLake Catalog is based on items, and you can find semantic models, lake houses, etc. See them, see their descriptions, and so on. The expansion we're working on now, and I briefly touched on this at the beginning of this session, is expanding into objects, tables, columns, schemas, and so on, and surfacing them both in the browsing UI and in search. So you could easily find them based on their metadata. So if you want to find a table by its name or description, then you'd be able to do so. That's not available yet, but it is coming soon. Awesome. So there will be 2 additional sessions on the OneLake Catalog on the Secure tab, which we've really just mentioned at the beginning. There will be a full session about the Secure tab. And if I remember correctly, there's another session about shortcuts in OneLake and how to make the most about them. So would definitely be awesome to tune into those 2 other sessions as well. We'll drop a link in the chat on where to find and sign up for them as well. Thank you so much.
There is another question about lineage, Dav, before we drop.
Yeah, I see we're getting a top fan here. Let's see what's that. To what extent does the lineage allow me to see across product surfaces? Think Lakehouse, Power BI model, Excel pivot table, and so on. Could I trust the entire connectivity chain? That's a great question. So we definitely, in the lineage tab, you could see one hop up, and you could see downstream, but only as far as I know within Fabric, meaning when you export something into Excel, we don't track that from outside of Fabric. We don't have that in the lineage view. But it does show all the way down, for example, even if you have multiple hops from your lakehouse to a semantic model, to some pipeline, to a report, and all these different hops and all of these are in Fabric, all of these would be represented in the lineage view. Unfortunately, I think the answer about pivot tables and getting off of Fabric is a no, but that's something we could take a note about.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay.
So have a great rest of your day, and
Thank
see
you
you
for
next.
joining.